Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of the Confidence to Homeschool podcast. Today we are going to be diving into homeschooling when you don't feel qualified. I don't know if anybody else walks around and kind of looks at the life that they have and is like, who in the world thought that I was capable of handling all of these things all at one time and on a daily basis? From a mama that was raised as an only child, and now I have 4 children and I am dealing with sibling relationships, and most of the time I didn't have to clean up after myself, and I'm doing all of the cleaning, all of the cooking. I didn't cook. All of these different things. I have felt so super unqualified in my job as mom and as caretaker of the house and as homeschooling mom, and all of these different things. So today we are going to dive in on how do you get through the day when you feel unqualified to get through the day? How do you homeschool when you don't feel qualified to homeschool? And I just don't know that there's anybody better to have this conversation. If I can take you guys a little bit through my testimonial, I was not a great student growing up. I really struggled in school. Now I know that it was because I felt like school was a waste of time. I often ask the question, when am I going to use this? And I honestly picked up concepts fairly quickly. I was always really great at taking tests, but the day-to-day mundane work of it all, I really had a hard time with. I had no desire to sit down and do all of the worksheets and all of the time stuff that they required for you being there at school. I just wanted to get through everything and get through it quickly and be able to just be done with it, which is one of the reasons that I absolutely was drawn to homeschooling. I love the fact that we don't have to add all of the extra fluff. It doesn't have to be something that takes 8 hours in a day. I don't want my kids to have to sit with their brain being numbed 6 hours a day doing just random, things in order to fill time. That's not how I choose for their time to be spent. I want their time to be spent exploring and learning who they are and what they like and what they do, and learning their morals and their values and how to work with other people out in the world and how to communicate and how to function in society, how to do chores, how to cook, how to clean. There are so many other things that I want done with my children's time than sitting in a school. And to be honest, I want their time to be my time. I love getting to sit and be with my kids. I love getting to watch a movie in the middle of the day if we feel like it's cold outside and we just want to cuddle up and we want to do hot cocoa, or if we want to do ice cream in the middle of the day. Whatever it is that we want to do, I love being able to do that. The freedom of homeschooling has been absolutely incredible in our life. But what if you don't feel qualified to homeschool? So for the first part of this, though, I think that we need to talk about, where does not feeling qualified come from? I think that this has been such a big deal since social media. We don't feel qualified because we're looking at this mom on social media that homeschools and she's got it all together and her kids are 4 steps ahead of every other child, and they're, in 2nd grade in real life, but graduating high school next year, like those kinds of things. Obviously, that's taking it a little far, but there's so much comparison in the world right now of seeing the way that other moms do it and seeing that they love artsy things and they set up all of these arts and crafts for their kids every single day, and they've got a mess all over the place, and mom is just so happy to go behind them and clean up the mess. Or that they have, just accelerated readers, or whatever it is that you are comparing. Maybe it's the fact that you feel like you are comparing their homeschooling space to your homeschooling space when you can only provide a kitchen table or a guest bedroom or whatever it may be. I know that there are several states that provide funding and grants for homeschoolers that they kind of give the money back that you would be paying in taxes towards the public school. But that's not the case in every homeschool. And you don't have to have a beautiful place to do school in order for your kids to be able to learn. So let's just take some of the comparison out first and foremost. The next thing I want to talk about is fear. What if I mess my child's education up? What if they're not smart enough? What if I didn't teach them everything? And oh my goodness, can I just get on my soapbox real quick about teaching them everything? It is not your job in life to teach them everything that they need to know. Your child is unique in who they are, and what they are supposed to be doing with their life, they will learn. I laughed the other day because I was doing schoolwork with my daughter, and there was a math problem that we were working on with fractions. And my daughter thinks a little more like my husband. And we have been doing this forever and ever, amen, where I will ask her a question and I will get frustrated because I won't know how to get the information through to her brain because she thinks so much more like him. So then I'll turn around and I'll ask my husband the same question, and he gives me the exact same answer that she gives me. And it's hilarious to me to watch the fact that they think so much alike. This man is a full functioning adult. He provides well for his family. He goes to work and he is one of the top in his job. He is incredible at what he does. Every single person that you talk to talks about a wonderful person that he is and how competent he is and capable of doing his job. Like, he just excels in everything that he does as far as work goes. But sometimes simple 5th grade math question is like crickets. Don't know the answer. And it just really sent me back to thinking it's so funny how we don't all need to know every single thing that is taught in school. Some kids are going to excel in science. Some kids are going to love math. Some kids are going to hate writing. Some kids are going to love reading. And you have to really calm down. Instead of worrying about teaching them everything, this is the beauty of homeschool. What does that child love? Where do they excel? What works for them? What is their, like, Addison is an entrepreneur to her absolute core. Is she going to need to know a whole lot of fractions? She needs to know the basics for sure, because also she loves to cook. But what better way to learn fractions than getting in the kitchen and cooking and making her convert fractions for doubling a recipe and so on and so forth. So it has been one of those we can learn hands-on. And if you are starting out in your homeschooling career, let me just tell you, if you don't know how to teach hands-on yet, that's okay. I will tell people again and again and again, it takes 2 to 3 years to really feel like you have a grasp on what it is that you're doing. Year 1, you're going to be in tears half the time going, what in the world am I doing? Am I messing them up? This is insane. What did I sign up for? Year 2, you're like, okay, I think we're going to make it through. And then year 3, right around there is when you just start absolutely going, all right, I got this. And then you get another child that comes in if you start younger. And it's like starting all over, guys. Whenever I started with Asher and Elijah, who are 7 and 6, it was just like, oh, I know nothing all over again. But the reason that I feel like I know nothing all over again is because you're starting with a new child, and every single child is different. So the fear of I have to be able to teach my child everything, or the fear of not being able to do it as well as the school is doing it, is just absolute nonsense, friends. If you can't teach your child and you went to public school and you are doing the same thing for them that the public school was doing for them, you're missing out. They didn't prepare you for life or you don't feel prepared for life and yet you want to send them back there. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I think that we need to work a little bit on quieting the fear and quieting the comparison and just do what we're being called to do. Choose to say yes. Choose to be okay with it being messy along the way and the fact that you're going to figure it out. And I promise you, it's going to bring those relationships with your children so much closer. And a relationship with your child is just the sweetest thing that you can have. All right, so if you feel like you have a lack of credentials, you don't have the teaching degree, you don't have the whatever, as I've already told you, girlfriend, I had a complete lack of credentials. Barely made it through high school. Turned around, y'all. Went to surgical tech school and thrived. I absolutely loved it. I was one of 3 people that passed my surgical tech state exams and was able to get my license or whatever. And there was, in my class, I think 16 that took the test, and I was one of 3 that passed it. I loved it. It was interesting to me, and that's part of my ADHD, is if it's something that I enjoy, I can learn so much. I went on to doing an essential oil company, and I thrived in that. I soaked up the information, guys. I wanted to learn everything. People would come to me and they would bring me issues of what was going on in their body. I would go down the rabbit hole. I'd do the research. I'd figure out what is at the core of them not feeling well. PCOS, it is a estrogen dominance throughout the body. What does estrogen come from? Estrogen can come from household products. It can come from your laundry detergent. It can come from your makeup. It can come from all of these different things. So it was like a puzzle for my brain to be able to go and figure out what is the root cause of this thing? How do we fix it? What is your lifestyle now? And where do we need to go? I loved it, guys. Just because you feel like you have a lack of credentials, you felt like you weren't capable before, just like because you feel like you weren't qualified before, because somebody somewhere told you that lie, told you that you weren't capable of raising your children, well, brush it off. It's not true. It's from the devil. The devil does not want us to have close-knit families. He doesn't want us to be one together, because then you're pouring your beliefs into your children. You are getting to show your children God each and every day as you show up in your household. You get to listen to Christian music with them as you guys are cleaning. You get to do all of these different things when you have your kids there at home. Do not let being disqualified or not knowing how or not knowing what, don't let it get in the way of your calling to say yes and having the family and the tight-knit community within your home that you are wanting, searching for, and desiring. Please, for the love, do not let any of those things get in your way. Your child doesn't need a certified teacher. They need a committed mom who cares and loves them. Nobody wants them to succeed the way that you want them to succeed. Nobody gets to see what they thrive in the way that you get to see at their home life. Nobody gets to see what wakens them and makes them happy and makes them shine and gets to see what they love and what they're good at. They're in that, what they're good at is going to change over the seasons. And you, as their homeschooling mom, get to change with them. You get to come up with ideas to help foster what it is that they're already doing. And then they get to learn that they can go through life doing things that they love, one, that they get to go through doing things that they don't love and what that is like and how to work through those things. There's just so many life experiences that go into homeschooling that is not teaching from a textbook. So God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. For biblical examples, there's Moses, there's Gideon. Both doubted their ability, but were used mightily. I mean, Moses said, I don't speak well. And God's like, listen, I'm going to help you out and send Aaron. Gideon was hiding. And he said, mighty warrior, come out. We're doing this thing. And I just think that if he can use those people, and if they weren't qualified, he can use you too. He literally hand chose you for your children, adopted or not. He allowed you and entrusted you to be in charge of that child. So homeschooling isn't about perfection. It's just about partnership with God and with your children. We pray for wisdom every single day over our homeschool. I have told you guys multiple times, if you are in a place where you are struggling in the middle of the day, take a break and pray over what it is that you are up against with your child. Lord, help me to understand how it is that you want this to be taught to them, or how it is that that's going to make sense in their head. I will say the other day, I was working with Addison. She hates poetry. You can see her whenever I ask her to write a poem. I have a hint of potential she has a little bit of dyslexia, and I think rhyming words are kind of hard for her to just pull out of her head. So poetry is really, really hard for her. And so the other day I ran into a brick wall with her because she was told to write a poem as an assignment explaining a emotion, and she just couldn't, because she wouldn't. More than anything, she could if she really chose that she wanted to, but she hit a wall. And just like all of us, even as adults, we hit a wall where the negative self-talk is so much louder than the ability to move forward, especially for an ADHD person. So I understood that assignment with her, that was frustrating. So I was like, all right, what can I do? Dialed up ChatGPT, put in, this is the assignment. What are some other options for me to be able to do? So we went ahead and we switched it to paragraph form. And ChatGPT gave me an example of write about an emotion, but don't tell the person what it is. And they have to guess what it is. And so that's what we did. I read off the caption that they had as an example, and she guessed it was excited. And I was like, you're absolutely right. It is excited. She was like, that's how I feel whenever Christmas comes, or that's how I feel whenever I get an Amazon package. She's doing nails these days, and so she's got Amazon packages coming for, different nail stuff, and she just absolutely loves and is thriving in it. And so she got to figure out those are the words that she would use to describe the feeling of being excited. She got to know excited on a whole different level just because of the words that we were using. So what did we do? We went to ChatGPT. It's not like it's not like gonna replace you, but you can use all of the things of the world that we have at this point in time as an assistant to teaching your child how to learn. We have so many more options now in today's homeschooling age. There is no reason to feel unqualified. You have opportunities for schools that will actually allow you to pick the classes that you're putting your kids in. They will do the teaching for you, and you can still figure out times to come in and connect with your kids. There is no shortage of opportunities here in homeschooling. You've got co-ops if you're needing the socialization part of it, or if you're needing help with teaching science or history or whatever that may be. There is open and go curriculums that literally say this to the child. You have options, my friend. And the beautiful thing is, you're going to learn beside your child. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to have it all figured out. You're going to sit there and you're going to read the book and you're going to figure out how to do it. Addison's going through 6th grade math currently. There are certain things that it's been that long since I've been in it. I'm coming up on my 20-year anniversary graduating. And it's been 20 years since I have been in a public schooling system. So like there's times that I need to brush up, but guys, I learn it better now than I ever learned it then. I know much more now about what a preposition and a verb and an adjective, and I know all of that so much better now than I did then. I'm relearning fractions, which I was already really good at, but fractions and percentages, like I'm going through and relearning all of that right now. But to teach it to somebody else, you have to learn it so much better yourself. But there is guides on that. You can look up a YouTube video on how it is to do the thing, and you can search multiple in order to find the thing that works for you. You can show them a YouTube video and see if they'll pick it up that way. Like, you can ask ChatGPT to change the assignment. You have so many options, and you can always message me, friend. I always want to cheer you guys on for what it is that you are doing. So you have so many options, curriculums, resources, tools. You don't have to be the master of the education. We've got podcasts, co-ops, veterans, moms. You gotta just dig in. The next thing is to learn your child's learning style. Figure out what works for them. Figure out what doesn't. If it's hands-on, cool. Let's figure out some hands-on thing. Again, you can go to ChatGPT, say, I'm trying to teach them this thing. Let's do hands-on. If you hate hands-on, go to ChatGPT and say, I hate hands-on. My child loves hands-on. I don't like it because it makes a mess. What's something that I can do in science today that's not going to make a huge mess, but that will teach my child da 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 da? They will figure it out. It searches YouTube videos too, y'all. So, with that being said, you're already taught them to walk, talk, love. You can teach them this too. You can do school too. You don't have to teach them everything. So, I want you to just kind of work in shifting your mindsets in these small ways. We're almost done here, guys. I just want you to work on shifting your mindset in just a couple of small ways. Just trade the perfection for progress. Remember why you're doing it. Celebrate your small wins. Celebrate those aha moments that they have throughout the day. When they finish a curriculum, if they did well that day, like I worked with my son the other day. I've got one of them that just speaks so quietly. He's so loud in general, but for whatever reason, when he speaks, he doesn't feel confident in speaking yet. And so he spoke the other day and was doing speech and used a good voice. And we went and got a treat because guess what? I want to continue to encourage him to use that good voice. That is missed in a public school, guys. It is missed being able to celebrate those small wins. They are constantly just moving on. You don't necessarily know what they've done well throughout the day if you're not with them throughout the day. So take the time to celebrate the small wins. Anchor in truth. If you are equipped because he called you, you can do this. Feeling unqualified doesn't mean that you're uncalled. It just means you care deeply. You're trying not to let them down. You're trying to make it through. You're just doing your best in this world. But nobody, like I said, is going to care like you are. Take the time to give yourself a pep talk in the middle of the day. Whenever my little boy used to come in and he would be super bummed over reading and the fact that he didn't think he was very good about it, I would tell him, if that's your mindset about it, you're 100% going to be correct. If your mindset is, I suck at this, I can't do it, I'm not good at this, you're going to be correct. So if your mindset in homeschooling is, I suck at this, I can't do it, I'm going to fail, I'm going to screw it up, you might be right. Because you're looking for all of the ways that you're going to fail, and you're looking for all of the ways that you're unqualified. So change it. I'm learning. I'm growing. God is guiding me. I can do this. I know my child better than anybody else, and I want better for them than anybody else in this world wants for them. And so I know I am going to do my absolute best for my child. Scripture says in 2 Corinthians 12:9, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. If you are feeling weak, but you are feeling called, he will see you through it. All right, guys, that is it for today. Share this episode with another mom who needs to hear that she is more than enough to homeschool. She is absolutely qualified and absolutely capable. I hope you have the very best day, and if you feel called to, leave me a review, and it would help so much be able to get this podcast out to everybody else. Thank you so much. Have a great day.